My underwear seems to have been left inside the patient's body.
The first thing the girl did after her rebirth was to intentionally leave her underwear inside the patient's body after surgery. She knew that no matter how well she performed the surgery, the credit would ultimately be stolen by her scheming foster sister. Since that was the case, she decided to botch the surgery, forcing her foster sister to reap what she had sown. It turned out that the girl was a genius surgeon. In her previous life, she was falsely accused by her stepsister of plagiarizing a paper. In the end, her father believed the stepsister's one-sided account and beat her severely. Little did she know that when she opened her eyes again, she had been reborn before the paper was published. This time, she was determined to uncover the truth and seek justice for herself. What was meant to be would eventually come to pass. Just as the girl was presenting her thesis, her stepsister jumped out to accuse her of plagiarism. This time, she vigorously defended herself. As the two argued back and forth, someone suggested that their claims were unverifiable. Coincidentally, the hospital had admitted a pair of twins suffering from a rare heart tumor with dual mutations. Whoever could cure them first would prove the other's lies to be false. As the surgery began, the girl recalled her mother's words: "As a doctor, even in the midst of a hail of bullets, you must remain steadfast, focusing solely on treating the patient without a single distracting thought." Her mother's words gave her great strength. But just as she used her expert technique to make the incision, her stepsister suddenly followed the exact same surgical steps. Not only were the angles of the cuts identical, but even the amount of bleeding controlled was strikingly consistent. Soon, the stepsister completed the surgery first, and everyone believed she was the one who had copied. But she couldn't give up. If she did, it would mean admitting she had copied. Since the stepsister's steps were identical to hers, she pretended that a piece of gauze had been left inside the patient's abdominal cavity, to see how the stepsister would respond. The girl pretended to open the patient's abdominal cavity, and the stepsister also urgently said she needed to request another surgery. Everyone was confused. Why perform a second surgery when the first one was already completed? The girl wore a triumphant expression, as the bait had been taken. After the stepsister also opened the abdominal cavity, the girl removed her gloves and said she needed to take a break. The stepsister grew anxious. If the girl wasn't performing the surgery, how could she plagiarize it? The girl remained unfazed, dancing instead. Since everything she did would be copied by the stepsister, she decided to do nothing at all. She ignored the people below cursing her and the patient's dropping blood pressure, continuing her stretching exercises. The stepsister was panicking because she had only watched the suturing procedure once and couldn't remember the steps. With so many eyes on her, she couldn't abandon the patient, so she pretended to faint to escape the surgery. Seeing the stepsister faint, the girl chose to continue the suturing. With only 3 minutes left before the competition ended, she had to come up with a new suturing plan so her stepsister couldn't copy it. But she never imagined that the plan she had in mind was exactly the same as her stepsister's.